Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're well. Welcome to Dan Rock's Rock Box. Whether you're watching us on Facebook or on the YouTube channel, welcome. Hope you're all well. Hope you all had a good weekend. Last time we saw you was Saturday evening when we had the amazing Melaine Stone on. Give us a little bit of a different spin of her life. And I'm glad to announce that she is back this Saturday coming. She had her cards, she had her runes ready, but she didn't get round to doing any of that. So she's coming back Saturday, and we're going to be doing some mini readings with her on Saturday evening. So that's going to be good. So if you can hear some rattling, just go live and one of the rabbits decides to have a drink. Beautiful. But I hope we're all well. And we are on the throat chakra this evening for the chakra evenings we're doing. So every Monday I come on and talk about the chakra and the crystals that we use in our physical workshops. And actually, I just realized I've not shown any of the tuning forks for the chakras. So tonight, I'll bring the throat chakra tuning fork out for people to see. So the throat chakra, the fifth chakra, but we also looked at the higher heart. So this one is the sixth chakra we've looked at. We started at the base, we did the sacral, we did the solar plexus, we did the heart, we've done the higher heart. Now we're on to the throat. And the function of the throat chakra is driven by the principle of expression and communication. The throat chakra is about the expression of yourself, your truth, purpose in life, and creativity. The throat chakra's emphasis is on expressing and protecting and projecting the creativity into the world according to its perfect form or authenticity. Are you finished up? Sorry, that was getting on my nerves. Nope, she's going. Okay, so the most commonly accepted location for the fifth chakra is at the level of the throat, and I normally go just above the V shape. I've got the V shape there, so I just go just above there. That's a nice perfect well there to place crystals. And the crystals I'm going to be showing you tonight, they're not massive. I've got some of my personal collection here to show you bigger specimens of them, but I don't use big crystals on here, and I don't use multiple of crystals. Again, it's a sensitive area, so like the base chakra here as well, we need to be cautious, especially if we've got clients, especially if they've had problems with their throat, whether they've been abused or bullied in their past, if they've had hands around their throat, if they've been choked or anything. This is going to be such a sensitive area, so putting multiples of stones on there is going to make them feel like they've got a house brick on there. It's going to make them feel uneasy. So I always go small on the throat, or if I have got somebody who's been victimized, I place on the shoulders. So I place on either side of the shoulders, so then the energy of the crystal goes over to the throat, and then in the middle there the energy meets. So then your client is nice and comfortable and relaxed, and they're going to benefit from the healing you're giving them. So don't overload the throat chakra. So yes, yeah, and it is important to remember that this chakra is multidimensional and is often represented as going out of the front of the throat and going in the back at a slight upward angle. Hey Julie, interesting. I have a friend who, whenever we use crystals on the throat, they jumped off. Might be that they just realised that and they're like, just go. For me, whenever I'm a client, if anybody puts anything on my throat, I'm there. I can't hardly breathe. I feel it's just cutting off my windpipe and my breathing has slowed and I need to cough. I feel like I'm going to be sick. So yeah, I always say to people, if they're putting crystals on me, don't put anything around my throat. I need it on either side, or not at all. I can remember on one of our workshops, I had to step in to be a client, and a lovely lady even gave me Reiki, and just feeling that Reiki just made my throat tighten and dry up. So for so many people, they do have an issue with their throat. So always tread with caution doing that. And the affirmations. So these are a great way to show what your throat is doing. How are we feeling with the throat chakra? Is there a blockage there or is there not? So these are sentences. The mantra for the throat chakra is I express or I speak. So these sentences that we send to the throat chakra, we want those words to be in there. So when we're saying that affirmation, the sentence knows where in the chakra it's going to. So if it's the base, we want I am to be in that sentence. If it's the sacral, we want I feel to be in that sentence. Solar plexus, I can or I do. The heart, I love. The higher heart, I relate. And then the throat is I speak or I express. So the ones we use for our workshops is I speak my truth. I speak calm and honor my true voice. I speak in ways that reflects my loving thoughts. I express my gratitude towards life. I express openly, clearly, and honestly. I express myself creatively through speech, writing, or art. Again, it's another creative center. So whatever we're doing creatively, if we feel like we can't vocalize it, we could put it down in words. We could put it down in art form. We can do anything with our hands to express what it is we are feeling from the throat chakra. Hey Karen, nice to be able to join you live. Throat chakra is a weak point for me ever since childhood. It has for me, and I absolutely don't know what it is. I've never held back in life. One thing my mum always taught us, my mum was a Leo. So literally her roar was her weapon. So she always brought us up never to use our fists, never to kick. Words hurt, and they last longer than a bruise does. So she brought us up to use our mouths as our weapons. So I've never held back. I've always spoke my truth. I've always been honest. But for me, if I had to say what was my weakest chakra, it would be my throat. Maybe it's because I need to shut up. And I've even been to have my aura photography done, and that showed the chakras. And my throat chakra was non-existent. There wasn't even a color there. I had different colors representing the chakras, seeing whether they're over or active. For the throat, there was nothing. And they're like, you got a problem? It's like, yeah. But also, when we're looking at the throat chakra, we're not just looking at the voice. We're not just looking at this bit. Ears come into play here. Same as the shoulders, same as the neck. And the one thing I've always had problems with is my ears. Technically, I should be wearing hearing aids. But I have my husband. He tells me what's going on. It's fine. So yeah. So if you've got a problem with your throat chakra, if the throat chakra is there, it might not be necessarily to do with the voice. It can be to do with your ears. It can be your shoulders. It can be your neck. And your mouth as well. So yeah. I'm wondering whether it's a past life. Yeah, when I was past life, maybe I had my tongue cut out in my past life, or my mouth sewn up, or maybe I drowned. Maybe I was Ariel in The Little Mermaid. Maybe I gave my voice to the sea witch. I had my tonsils out age 5, and as an adult thyroid, and yes, I do speak out in my own way. But there is something of balance, but not quite sure what. Yeah. And also the throat chakra is the first of our spiritual chakras. So the base, the sacral, the solar plexus, they're what we call the physical chakras. And then the heart is the balancer that's in the middle. Higher heart is an out of a higher energy. So the throat is the first of our spiritual chakras. So we might be thinking, I wasn't thinking of anything that drastic or that outrageous, Julie. Not thyroid out, just my thyroid. I was thinking that. I was thinking then, can you have your thyroid out? But yes. So your chakra imbalances, these can occur either as an excess of energy or an energy deficiency. So an excess is what we call an overactive chakra, and then a deficiency is what we call an underactive chakra. And I've said in previous weeks, a pendulum can be very good to determine that. With the throat, it can be a little bit awkward doing it on yourself, because obviously you can't really see what way the pendulum is going. For me, and what I teach in the workshops, is your yes direction. With your pendulum, when put over a chakra, if it goes in your yes direction, then that is yes more. So we're dealing with an underactive chakra. It needs some energy in there to bring it back into balance. And if it gives you your no direction, then that's no more. We've got too much energy there. We need to take off. And then if your pendulum is standing still, there's no movement at all, we've got a balanced chakra. So at the beginning of the practical in the afternoons of these workshops, we get the healers onto their clients. They check the chakras, and if they're swinging and swaying, then they act accordingly. And then after the 5 minutes or so of the crystals being on the clients, we then go over with the pendulum again, and we're looking for that still point. We're looking for it not to do anything, and that's when we know we've got a balanced chakra. Also, please don't just use pendulums to bring your chakras into balance. There's a theory out there that you can put a pendulum on your chakra and it will spin, 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 and then come to a standstill. No, that you've shot your chakras. It's not a very done thing to do. You just keep your pendulum on. As soon as it gives you your direction of your yes or your no, then you take it off and act accordingly, keeping a pendulum on the chakra, because the pendulum is working with your intuition, it's working with your energy, and the chakra itself is a vortex. It's like a mini hurricane, whirlwind, a vortex on your center. So to have that pendulum that wants to go, and then you've got your vortex that wants to go, there's too much movement there, and the pendulum will shoot the chakras. So don't use your pendulums to bring your chakras into balance. Use your pendulum to tell you what your chakras are doing, or use the affirmations, taking those sentences in there and listening to see how those sentences settle there. So the symptoms associated with excessive energy in the throat chakra is the lack of control over your speech, speaking too much or inappropriately. Sounds familiar. Excessive fear of speaking, having a small, timid voice. That you just speak up. For me anyway, because like I've said, I have problems with my ears, so I haven't got the time of day for people who talk quietly. I've come across so many, bless them, working in hospitality. I've come across all these wet behind the ear 18-year-olds who have just come on behind the bar fresh, and what would you like? Like, don't say that. You say, what can I get you? What would you like? Don't hide behind this quiet voice. Not being able to keep secrets or to keep your word, and telling lies. Okay. And the throat chakra is associated with the following psychological and behavioral characteristics. So the expression, in particular, ability to express your truth, to speak out. Communication, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, external or internal. Connection with the spiritual realm, the more subtle realms of spirit and intuitive abilities. Projecting ideas and blueprints into reality. Realizing your vocation, your purpose, and a good sense of timing. Shardy, I've been told I talk too quietly. Also been told I talk too loud, and by the same person. Oh dear, I don't think you talk too quietly. Yeah, I don't think you talk too quietly at all. I can hear you, so yes, no problem there. And your throat chakra imbalance, you will have no problem expressing yourself in the world. You'll be very creative, helpful, and may be good at offering people sound advice when it is asked for. Emphasis on when it is asked for. So many times we give out advice without it being asked. You are not afraid to express your weakness, and people respect you for this. You are truly free when you can speak your truth. So, yeah, it is about, and if there is anything going on there, it might be about not speaking your truth, holding back, and that fear of talking in public. I always I do always have a laugh and a joke at those who are fresh into the hospitality, because they are always often shy. And I can remember when I first started in hospitality, and I was so shy, and public speaking, going up to a table that you don't know and ask them if they want to order their food, like, that's so daunting. But you get there. Public speaking, talking to your loved one, talking to your children, expressing how you actually feel is so important. So very, very important. So I am going, before I forget, we'll talk a little bit about the tuning forks. So the fifth chakra, the throat chakra. This is, I do have a banner for this. So it's 141.27 hertz. And it's in the tone G. So the bass is the tone of C, because we always start with the bass. So the bass is C. The sacral is D. The solar plexus is E. The heart is F. And that's because F is the same frequency as the Om. And Om was believed to be the first sound the universe created. And we look through the universe through the heart. So the heart chakra and the universe has the same tone. So F is the heart. And then the throat is G. The third eye is A. And the crown is B. So G, 141.27 hertz. It is related to communication and growth through expression. This tuning fork is helpful for the throat, for the thyroid, a gland that is also in the throat and which produces thyroid hormones responsible for growth and maturity. So we do have two of them. This is what we call the non-weighted. We've just got the two prongs. And then this one here has got what I call the wheels. And this is weighted. And the difference between the two, I would use the non-weighted around the aura. And I would use the weighted on a physical sense. Although, again, with the throat chakra, if it's a sensitive area for people, I would just stick with the non-weighted. So I'm going to strike it and just see if you guys can hear it. Oh, good. I'm glad you could join us, Glenda, and I'm glad you could hear it. So with the non-weighted, you can just strike it and listen to it. Hear that frequency, hear that tone, and that's going to go down to your throat. If this was a bass one, it would have gone down to the base chakra. That tone, that frequency, will just let it go to where it needs to. But you can work along the body. Again, we always start at the head and sweep down to the feet. We are working with energy, so we work with the head and work down to the feet. With the weighted, as I says, we can use that on a physical. So with the other chakra tuning forks, the weighted, you can do that on a physical. But with this one, see how you feel and see how other people feel when using this. All right, let's see if you can hear this one. No, I don't think you can. No, because it's weighted, so it's a little bit heftier. But by striking it, and you can feel why. When you do it with a non-weighted, you're like, oh, I think I can feel that. When you do it with the weighted, you're like, whoa, okay. Any blockages at all that's in there, that vibration. So we're working with more of the vibration rather than hearing the frequency, and that vibration can just go woof. So very much, yeah, it is just a buzz. It is just a weighted hum, but it's beautiful. But then you can do a thing, you can remove the ball, and you can do a thing called stemming, which is what I just did before coming on, because I've suffered with a stiff shoulder yesterday and today. So again, we're working with the throat chakra, and there's an issue with my shoulder which can be related to that chakra. So by putting the stem onto that point, you can really feel that vibration going in and really getting into that point, and it feels amazing. I do. So it's so good. It only came to me today because I have the chakra tuning forks in the cubby hole, and I completely forgot about them all through the other chakras. So I need to remember next week to get the third eye ones out for next week's show. So they're the tuning forks. Lovely. Really, really nice. Nice little added bonus to work with alongside the crystals. So now the crystals themselves, what can we use for the throat chakra? So we've got beautiful aquamarine. For those people who tune into our live altars, to our live communal gridding that we do, you've perhaps seen these little spheres before, because we do like to use them on those altars. Nice raw chunky pieces here. An aquamarine is perfect for breaking down any blockages that we've got there, anything that we're struggling to overcome, any obstacles we need to face. Aquamarine is brilliant for that. So a fear for public speaking, get rid of that. You know, that small voice syndrome, remove that blockage, give yourself a voice, give yourself a platform to talk from. So this one definitely would be for that imbalance of lack of control over one's speech. Speaking too much or inappropriately. That's where I would perhaps use aquamarine with for that. A part of the beryl family. I love the beryl family. So emerald is in there, morganite, heliodor, gossanite, bixbite. What have I forgotten? That's them. Yeah, I think that's the family. Yes, yes. Unfortunately, whenever I've talked about aquamarine, I normally talk about how good it is for acid reflux. I've got a hiatus hernia, so sometimes I suffer terrible with the burning, heartburn, acid reflux. It's really quite strong. So this is the piece when I say to people, I've got a piece by my bed, because it sometimes gets really worse at night when I'm asleep and it can wake me up. This is the piece that is by my bed that I place onto between my throat and my heart, where the burning sensation is, and it just really cools and soothes that. So yes, so thank you, Heather. I'm glad you love my big one. Maybe you need a throat chakra stone for the inappropriateness. I'm joking. There isn't a bit of aquamarine big enough to control my mouth. So yeah, so another thing that physically aquamarine is good for is for GERD, is for that acid reflux. There, oof, it really just cools and soothes that down, I find. Anyway, beautiful stuff. And then we've got mixture of the two. I bring both of these to the workshop, but get the people to only connect with one. I am going to show the teal calcite first in my big workshop bag of teal calcite. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. The blue screen is the blue light is taking over on this. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. This has now been renamed. You might look at this and think, oh, that looks familiar. It's now been renamed as pistachio. I was going to say Picasso then. Pistachio calcite. Yeah, when we saw our suppliers, they showed us it, and I was like, "Isn't that teal calcite?" And they're like, "Yes." Someone thought it needed to be renamed. Already. So yeah, so if you've got teal calcite at home, because we've had it for a couple of years, if you've got teal calcite, don't go off thinking you need pistachio calcite. It's the same thing, okay? And then we've got blue calcite. So for me, these are the calming, the supporting energies. I love teal calcite, and they do work pretty much on the same aspect. Calcites, for me, they stay at that chakra. They don't go up like if it was a blue lace agate. It doesn't go up and give you that clarity into the mind. It just stays where it is. So blue calcite or teal calcite is really nice supporting there. So if we're doing the public speaking, if we're getting nervous, if we're getting the hand sweats, if we're, oh, okay, making it a mountain when it's only a molehill, we don't need to dwell on it too much. The calcites, keep them on you, will just keep you cool, keep you calm, and okay, I can do this. I can do this. So it's a really nice one to support. And especially if you're doing a lot of speaking, especially vocalists, singers, it's a nice one to keep support of your vocals while you're doing that. So if you've got quite a few gigs or you're doing quite a lot of talking, having blue calcite there is a really nice one to hold there. Yes, absolutely, Karen. Yeah, blue chalcedony, definitely. With me, because you might find when we've gone through these crystals, blue lace agate isn't part of my throat chakra workshops. That makes an appearance in the third eye, and that's because they run very similar. Blue chalcedony, blue lace agate, blue calcite, teal calcite. So I didn't want two crystals that relatively did kind of like the same thing. So the calcites are kept in the throat, and the blue lace agate or blue chalcedony is with the third eye. And that's only because I use blue lace agate for my headaches, for my temples. So I was like, you're sorted, you're done, there we go. So, but yeah, it's your preference. Some people out there are blue lace for the throat and blue chalcedony for the throat. Absolutely. You most definitely can. Okay, and then we've got beautiful buffalo blue turquoise. Again, these are tiny, but that's because these are for my workshops, so I don't go for big, massive things. And turquoise is really nice, really good if you need to get things off your chest. We were discussing about the throat chakra being our weakness, and some people mentioning whether it's something that happened as in early years of our life or in a past life. If it is that, if we need to connect with our past to clear that off, and whether that is through a childhood divorce, childhood abuse, bullying, whatever that was, or whether you feel it's past life, we do, unfortunately, we still need to connect with that energy to then extinguish it. So turquoise is brilliant because it just puts a blue bubble around you. It's very old energy, so it's great for connecting to the past, to anything that's happened to us that we need to vocalize, but it's protective. So for some of us, we might think there is no way am I going back and thinking about that energy when I just want to be 500 miles away from it. But turquoise will just put a blue bubble around you, just be like, we're going there because we need to just be in that energy to go, and then just leave that energy that we've carried on in there, if that makes sense. So we're just going back there, dropping off what we've carried through, leaving it there, and then come back here and going, right, now that's finally gone to bed. Now I can move on. Yes, beautiful, Karen. Yeah, I love blue chalcedony. Superb stuff. And then we've got Christ a collar. Beautiful member of the copper family. So if any of you were around for the solar plexus, we worked with malachite, which is a brother to chrysocolla. I've just mentioned turquoise, which is the grandfather of chrysocolla. And then there's azurite, which azurite's really not my cup of tea. We use that on the third eye because it's a very dark indigo blue stone. But for me, azurite is like having a scourer and just rubbing that over your brain. It's just, no, I can't cope with that energy. Chrysocolla, on the other hand, I love. And I like turquoise as well, but azurite and malachite I don't get on with, and that's because in my mind they're very masculine energy. Chrysocolor is very feminine energy, and I really resonate with this energy. Whether that is because there might be an energy there that I like, it might be that I need to draw out more feminine energy. But it's really safe, really secure, and it's a really good platform for women to speak and for women to be able to feel appreciated and gratitude towards. So sometimes, not so much now, but going back a bit, when women weren't given the equal status, and it has come through to the 21st century, and there are perhaps still places like that works like that, where if you're working in a very masculine environment and you're just not feeling that the female is being heard, chrysocolor is your warrior stone. It really brings out that voice. I think I've said it before, when I was connecting with chrysocolor in my diploma, there was only one other guy in a group of 9 of us. There's only one other guy, and I held the chrysocolor, and all of a sudden, because I was already in the corner of the room, but I just felt myself being sucked into the corner, shrinking down small. But all the beautiful ladies that were around me, their energy was just expanding and was just so powerful and beautiful. So yeah, it just really made me feel, it really shrunk my masculine. So for some people, this will come in very handy, especially the ego alpha males. They could really do with some chrysocolor to really shrink that ego and that masculine energy and bring it into balance. Because the idea is that we are half feminine, half masculine. We have that balance. So any imbalance in that, chrysocolor would be great for that. But it is really good for bringing a voice to the female. If you've gone through anything, divorce, betrayal, abuse, it's such a supportive stone, chrysocolor, and really helps you to speak out. You don't have to put up with this. You don't have to be in that environment. Get out. So it will find a voice where you can go for help. You can get yourself out of that situation. Yes, because Karen, I don't think I've got back to you, because the other day you were saying about Shakatite and chrysocolor with turquoise. So yeah, it might be, but it might also be the energies. If I've never met you, but I would say that you are very. I would find that you are very much in your female energy. So for you, chrysocolor might just be you don't really need me, and so that's why you find it too much, because we've got the balance here. So if this is masculine and this is feminine, okay, you're in balance. So working with chrysocolor is just going to reach your feminine higher, and it's like, whoa, no, we don't need that. So that's perhaps why you're finding it too much. Just need to bring it down. And then yeah, turquoise. With turquoise is the exception. I don't get male or female. I call it grandfather, but for me, it's just an old energy. It's just a beautiful protective energy. So I say grandfather, but it's a grandparent energy. But hopefully that makes sense. And then the next one. Hey, Jan. Hope you're well, sweetheart. Oh, Glenda. Love it, Karen. Done it if work with it. And Jan. Hi, Dan. Works for previous marriage trauma. Yeah. Anything we've got going on. I mean, if you've got anything previous to work on, turquoise could be the one to start with. If you need to let go of anything, or if something needs to go back and stay in there, then turquoise could work there. If it's something that you need to work on the here and now, then that would be Christ color. So I would perhaps suggest more for you, Jan, more of the turquoise than the Christ color, because it's a previous, it's not the here and now. So you don't need that now, you needed it then. So turquoise would come to you to take you back there, for you to leave that energy there and to work with through that. Yeah, it might be, Karen. It might be. Shardy, turquoise is just blah to me. Don't really get anything much from it. Oh, turquoise, yeah. But that is it. We're all individuals, but yeah, I can go. Oh gosh, I could get to know nearly all my ancestors working with turquoise. It's such a powerful stone, and really working with that. So yeah, beautiful. But yeah, for some people, they perhaps don't even like the copper family at all. So Larimar is the blue variety of pectolite, and pectolite is the white mineral that we can see in this, and pectolite is the only mineral to be found in the Caribbean, and Larimar is only sourced from the Dominican Republic. I can say that now. 2 years ago there was a pocket that was found in Peru, but that's dried up, so it's still only found in the Dominican Republic. And I love this crystal by its name, because when we come across some crystal names, they may be called from where they are found, like Labradorite. That was first found in Labrador. That's where the name come from. Or it might be the person that's found it, and it's named after them. With Larimar, it was a guy called Miguel, and he was the second Miguel, because the first Miguel, he found a piece in the early 1900s. He took it to the higher people to see if he can get a claim to dig more for it. That was declined. He didn't get that. And then in the 70s, another dude called Miguel. I don't think he was a dude. He could have been a dude. But Miguel, he found a piece on the beach. And he called it Larimar. And Larry is after his daughter. His daughter was called Larissa. So Larry is the first part of her name. And then Mar, which is Spanish for sea. So I love that. I love that he found a crystal, and instead of having that ego and calling it by his name, or he called it after his daughter, and it's just, it is rare. It is rare to find. I mean, I won't tell you how expensive these spheres are. They're very, very expensive. But but that's because the mine was flooded. So the impact of that was that all the Larimar that was out was all that was left. There was no more getting it. So then that made all the prices. It was high anyway because it only from one place. So like shungite, like charoite, moldavite, when they're only sourced from one area, the price increases anyway because that's the only patch. But then the rarity of it just blew it out of the water, and it's shocking how expensive it is. Which is why I was hoping that the pocket in Peru was going to last a while, because then it would have brought the price of the Dominican Republic Larimar down. But sadly, it wasn't the case. It wanted to be on its own. And yeah, this one again, very similar to Aquamarine, with going with the flow, expressing creativity. So if we feel like we can't express vocally, Larimar will come in and help us to create in other ways and express ourselves through dance, art, media, whatever your forte is, you can express there. It is such a beautiful mineral. Love it. And then finally, before I let you good people go, is the blue opal, the Andean blue opal. Oh, so Addy, I love my Larimar. It is great for social communication for me. Yes, yes, definitely. And if you think about it, because it is known as the dolphin stone. So if you think about that, dolphins, you don't get one. Dolphins love to be social. They love to play. They like to have fun. So they're always in their pods, riding the waves. So it's a beautiful one for communication. So absolutely, definitely for that. So yes, Andean blue opal. We could not. Trust me, I have tried my hardest to try and find opals for all of the chakras because I love them. They're my faves. They're so good. Oh, fire opal jam. Fire opal. That gives you a kick up the backside. So yes. So as Jan mentioned there, the fire opals. The fire opals are more contained to Australia, Ethiopia, or Mexico. And they're the opals that normally get faceted and put into jewelry. And that's where most of their superstition came from, because opals used to be called the omen stone, the stone of misfortune. A lot of bad things used to happen to the ladies that wore opals, and it's normally the fire opals because that's what gets turned into jewelry. But opals are amazing for putting you on your true path in life. Fire opals being at the top, literally, they would kick you up the backside, and you will be changing circumstances before you even knew it. The common opals, like the Andean opals, the green opals, the yellow opals, the pink opals, they're a little bit more softer. They very much make you see and realize that I need to change the situation. I need to do something here. And they will help you with that. So it's a little bit like the death card in tarot. People pull the death card in the tarot and they think, oh my God, I'm going to die. No, it might just mean that something, a chapter in your life is going to end. And opals is the same. So if you're not in the relationship that your life path is intended you to be on, you're going to walk away from that. If you are in a house that's not your life path house, you are going to change that, change the job. Okay, with fire opal, it's a little bit like drastic, so there will be a huge separation. You might find that you're being evicted from the house. You might find that you're losing your job. So it's quite drastic, but fire opal works in that way. It's very fast, very fierce, doesn't take no prisoners. Whereas I like the common opals because they kind of like make you think, should I put the house on the market? Shall I look for another job? You know, it gives you that safety net of looking for something else before you take the leap. Whereas fire opal is certainly out of the frying pan and into the fire. But with the blue, with the throat, this is cleansing. We're working with water here. So refreshing, revitalizing, keeping that cup. For me, with all chakras, we have these vessels, we have these chalices, and we need to make sure that these cups are full. Okay, so like me, who can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, I need blue opal to keep that energy filling my throat cup so I can keep talking. For some people, if they've had some negative programming, if they can't talk, if they've got a blockage there, bring in the water, wash that away. Let's talk. If you're somebody who's a bit sharp-tongued and you want to say in your mind, you've got such a lovely thing to say, but somewhere from there to there, it comes out like you're a bitch, or it comes out a bit sharp, it's a bit negative, then blue opal will be a good stone because it will just wash away that, whatever it is that's translating into that, washes that away and allows it to flow. So it's like, okay, what I'm thinking, I'm actually speaking. It's not getting twisted halfway through the expression. So that's the last of the throat chakra stones. And like Karen said earlier on with blue chalcedony, there are so many more stones that you can work with that are out there for your throat chakra. For me, we only have time in the mornings on our workshops to connect with 6 and to hear everyone's connection. So they're the 6 crystals I bring to them. And to talk a little bit more about them, you may have seen over the weekend that we've done our ROX selection box. So I'm going to show you the blue ones here, being as though we're talking about a blue night. I'll show you the blue selection box. So this is what's being advertised. Carmen, what's the blue one? Yeah. Top of head number, short term number, back number. The blue one is called Calm and Clarity. Yes, I thought it was Calm and Clarity. So the Calm and Clarity one. So what's in my wooden box is what's in the whole of the selection box. So there is a blue onyx sphere. There's one of those in there. So that's another one that's good for the throat chakra. The hemomorphite, a very highly spiritual stone. I take this to the divine gateway, but to get through there, it's got a link through a physical chakra. So the throat to the divine gateway. Hemomorphite. So hemomorphite palm. A beautiful Arizona amazonite palm. And amazonite is good to connect the heart to the throat, allowing you to speak from the heart. Because if we learn to speak from the heart, we're speaking in a right place. We can't be wrong if we're speaking from what is in our heart. There's a piece of chrysocolla. Oh, a piece of aquatine calcite. Again, quite a universal energy there. Very similar. It's an in between the blue opal and aquamarine. A nice cleansing stone. And here we go. We've got a piece of blue chalcedony. So there we go, Karen. It's in this box. A blue calcite heart. A flat piece of teal calcite. And then you get 6 pieces of raw teal calcite or pistachio calcite. And then you get a nice and lovely piece of blue aquamarine with 4 little aquamarine chips. So that is all in one box, and we tallied that up. Retail £85, but we're doing them for £50, a selection box. And yeah, this is my first night to talk about them, and yeah, these were spoken about way back in June when the sun was shining. We were outside with a couple of beautiful friends discussing Christmas, because like I've said numerous of times tonight, I'm born and bred in the hospitality trade. So when people are in the sun, people in hospitality are already thinking about Christmas. So I was already in that frame of mind, and I wanted the Dan ROX selection box, and I didn't want to show just tumbles. I wanted there to be a toolbox in there. So there's a sphere in there that's going to have that equal energy. There are tumbles there. There's some raw pieces in there too. So a nice little mix there. And throughout all the boxes, there's a mixture of tools that you can use. They're not just tumbles. They have their place in other things as well. So yes, they are available. That one is sold. So we've only got 2 of the blue boxes left. 2 of the dragon boxes have sold. We've only got 2 of those left. And a base one is sold, whammy in the base, and the white, the spirit box has gone as well. Sally, hi Dan. How strange that you should be doing blue crystals tonight. I didn't know that you were doing that, but today I have carried a blue chalcedony in one pocket and a blue lace agate in the other pocket. Clearly, I have been in tune with you today. Clearly, Sally, you have. That's amazing. So yeah, both of the blue agates, the chalcedony and the blue lace agate, lovely. So calming, soothing. But yeah, for both of those, I do find that there would be a throat third eye connection to them. I spoke about the amazonite being heart, throat, blue chalcedony, blue lace agate, throat, third eye. Keeping that, watching what you're saying. Speak before you speak. Think before you speak. I know, Julie. I know. So yes, come 2nd of December, we'll allow people back round. So you and Mr. Moody, can we be on your list of people to see? because I'm already getting Valentine ideas and Easter ideas. So again, I don't live, my mind's not here. My mind is 4 months ahead. So yes, when you're free after the 2nd, can you please come over and we can put our views across to the committee. So yeah, so that's everything for tonight. I'll be seeing a couple of you tomorrow night because I've got my toxic workshop on Zoom. There is still a couple of spaces for that, and it's only £20. So definitely we'll be doing that tomorrow night. It's only £20 because we didn't send any crystals out, because we're going to be talking about 6 toxic crystals. I mean, there's numerous of toxic crystals, so there might be a sequel, a prequel, many variants of the toxic crystal workshop, but we chose 6, and I didn't feel it right to send these crystals out and then talk about how these crystals can kill people or how they can harm people. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting up with you, Moody's. Is there anything? Think before you type. Yeah, it's called putting a stone on your fingers, and then that's stopping you typing. Sally, your boxes look amazing, Dan. I ordered one, but could have bought more than that. Thank you. And you know, there is a committee behind this. The Moody's helped. Myself included was there. There's a beautiful lady, a member of Dan ROX. She comes onto most of our lives, Belinda Eaton. She's the lady that single-handedly did the Flower of Life gridding cloths. Actually, could you just chuck us one? Oh, there's one on there. So so these are in each box, and the beautiful Belinda did them all single-handedly for us. So that was amazing. And then in the dragon box, we collaborated with the beautiful Hilary Stanley, and there's one of her meditation CDs in the dragon box. So it's great. But then also my beautiful husband was the one that took the photos and put them all together. So it's a great big team effort. So it's great. You're welcome, Glenda. What are the toxic crystals? We never reveal the crystals that we work up with. There are so many out there, but tomorrow night we're talking about 6. But yeah, I keep that under wraps until afterwards. Okay, so yeah, so I didn't want people to be licking them and stuff. So there weren't no crystals that went out for this workshop. Normally, we do send out crystals for our online workshop so people can connect and to do. But these ones, it felt safe to just keep them with us. There are 3 very common crystals we'll be covering. And then there are 3 not so. But yeah, I've got to head, but thanks, Dan. Thank you so much, Karen. And yeah, I'm going to wind this up. So lick crystals. Jan, not link, lick. So yeah, so tomorrow night there will be no special guests because I'm doing the Zoom workshop. Wednesday night, fingers crossed it's going to be our market. If the delivery turns up in time. And Thursday is UK Serenity Radio evening, so we won't be on then. Friday is our crystal quiz on Zoom. Saturday, I've got We Belong to the Sea workshop. So those crystals will be sent out again, and I can tell you these. I can tell you these crystals. So We Belong to the Sea is one I love doing because we're working with animal spirits as well as crystal energy. So we're going to be looking at the basking shark. We're going to be looking at seal, particularly the grey seal. We're going to be looking at the bottlenose dolphin, and we're going to be looking at the humpback whale. And all four of those are found around the UK coastline, whether they go past on a migratory route or whether they stay with us. So it's a nice UK-based thing to fill with. So we look at the crystals. So we'll be looking at Larimar, we'll be looking at iolite, we'll be looking at clear quartz, and we'll be looking at aquamarine. So we connect with those crystals, and then I will walk you through a meditation to connect to the spirit, the essence of that animal, and see if we can pick up a few new animal guides on the way. So that's next Saturday, and there is still some spaces for that. We won't be sending the crystals out for that until Wednesday or Thursday. So if you want to join us on that, there is still places for that as well. So do join us. I can't remember how much it was. I think it's about 45, because we're sending out Larimar. You know, we're gifting people a piece of Larimar and a piece of aquamarine and a piece of clear quartz and a piece of iolite. So just looked up azurite. Do you have any? I don't think we do. We do have some quantum quattro coming. Does that have azurite? That has the copper family in it. That has the 4. So no, that's not that. Quantum quattro is dioptase, shakatite, chrysocolla, malachite with smoky quartz. So no, we don't have any azurite coming. And in the next lot, we'll pick some up. So yeah, so that's a great week. And then Sunday, my body clock is telling me that it's time for a full moon. I think the full moon is on Monday, the 30th. So Sunday we'll be coming on board to do our live communal altars for the full moon, which you guys know how to do. So please join us for that. That will be at the earlier time. We'll do that at 5 o'clock so people can chill afterwards doing that. So yeah, so lots to look forward to, but have a great week, you guys. Hopefully see you throughout. If not, see you next Monday when we talk about the third eye chakra. Have a great evening. Good night. Oh, Saturday night, we have got the special guest, and we've got Melaine coming back. Melaine will be back again on Saturday to do her mini readings. If any of you saw her this Saturday just gone, you'd see once we spoke about her life, well, just one part of her life, she was then had her tarot cards, oracle cards, her runes. So bless her, she's coming back this Saturday evening for the to do some mini readings. So look forward to that. Oh, and also, PPS, we have today set up Melaine Stone on Facebook and on Instagram. So please, it is Melaine Stone. So just follow her, and please just give her page a like, give her page on Instagram a follow. Let's build her up. Okay. Oh, Sally, thank you. Oh, sounds great. I sent her an email and she has given me her phone number. So glad to hear she's coming back so soon. Brilliant, gal. Thank you. So yeah, Melaine Stone, Facebook and Instagram. She's got a personal page on Facebook, but she's also got a business page on Facebook. It's got a purple logo. Yeah, please do follow her. Please do support her and get things going for that. Yes, Jan, her talisman email address is the right one. We got clarification for that, but she is freshly new on Facebook and on Instagram. So do bear with her with that. Literally, this is 2007 for her when Facebook first came out. So do just bear with her. But Adam at the moment is manager on that page. So if anyone gets in touch, he'll be able to prompt her and just let her know how to work things. Okay. But anyway, have a great week. See you all soon. Bye.